Home means a lot to Lorraine Jordan.
My homes have always been my safe places and sanctuaries. You know, I've always tried to create a nice home so that I feel good and I feel safe.
She lived in a 3-bedroom social housing property with her son in Launceston for 7 years. He was the original tenant and Lorraine was an approved occupant. But when he moved out, Lorraine was issued with a trespass notice by the provider, Community Housing Limited. When she left the house to get legal advice, the locks were changed.
I didn't have anything. I didn't have another set of clothes, nothing. Didn't have anything.
Her cat was locked inside too, and being a Friday, she had to wait until Monday to take the matter to court, so she lived in her car over the weekend.
When I finally got in, the cat was very jittery, and he wasn't like that before.
Lorraine ultimately won in the Supreme Court in a case that centred on the definition of tenant. Her lawyers argued that CHL had been receiving $180 a fortnight more in rent, but Lorraine hadn't received full tenancy rights. They said of CHL, "You can't have your cake and eat it too." CHL argued that it only had an agreement with Lorraine's son, and so the benefit is provided by him. But Acting Justice Shane Marshall found that Lorraine was in fact a full tenant because the rent was adjusted to reflect her occupancy. Lorraine is now able to stay in her home, but the court decision has much wider effects. It could grant greater rights to 4,300 people who are living as approved occupants in social housing properties across Tasmania.
It's a significant decision because it means that none of them can be evicted at the whim of a community housing provider.
Instead, they must be given a notice to vacate, which requires a justification and appeal rights.
They do need to be afforded procedural fairness if their income is being taken into account in assessing the rent.
The Tasmanian government has now appealed the decision, arguing it could affect Homes Tasmania's ability to allocate dwellings in a fair way through the Tasmanian Housing Register. CHL has guaranteed that Lorraine can stay in the home, but she's worried about others.
How can someone be kicked out of a home over a meaning of a word?
Adam Holmes, ABC News.